Before we go too much farther talking about TCP/IP in the course here, I want to just stop for a second, kind of branch off into IP version 6 and give you just some of the basics, because on the A+ exam they're not going to go too deep about IP version 6, but they are going to mention it, and I just want you to be aware of what's going on here. IP version 6 is the latest revision of the Internet Protocol. Now currently we're using IP version 4, and 6 is the new hot upcoming thing. It's actually out there and working right now. You may or may not have heard about it, but it's not covered in depth on the A+ exam, but it will be mentioned, and so I'm just going to give you a little overview here. First of all, the vast majority of computers out there on the internet are still utilizing IP version 4. When you look at your IP address, if you see a 3-digit number, a period, another 3-digit number, a period, if you see 4 sections like that, you're looking at an IP version 4 address. Now, if everybody's using IP version 4 and everybody's happy, why do we even want to deal with a new version or IP version 6? And besides, what happened to IP version 5? 5 was testing, don't worry about it, we're going to 6, okay? Here's the real deal. IP version 4 provided enough space for 4,294,967,296 unique addresses for devices. Now at the time the internet was being developed, this looked like a massive number and would never need more than that. Well, then the internet came along and just exploded everything, and of course now we all have 2 or 3 machines at home. We have laptops, we have tablets, we have mobile phones, smartphones, and all of these things have IP addresses. Now in the future our cars are going to have IP addresses, our appliances in our homes are going to have IP addresses. It's just amazing how many different things have them. IP version 6 provides space for 2 to the 128th power. That means take the number 2, double it, that's 2 to the 2nd power. Double that number, 2 to the 3rd. Double that number, 2 to the 4th. By the time you double it 128 times, you have more than 7.9 times 10 to the 28th power addresses than IP version 4 gave us. A good way to think about this is there are enough IP version 6 addresses to provide an IP address for every visible star in the sky at night. I've heard it said that you could provide IP addresses for the grains of sand on the beaches of the world. So the bottom line is we're not going to run out of addresses. And here's why. IP version 4 addresses are 32 bits in length. IP version 6 addresses are 128 bits in length. And if you understand binary, that's not just a difference of 128 minus 32. That's an exponential difference. Now let's talk about why we're doing IP version 6. First of all, a lot more addresses so we can apply addresses to everything. But IP version 6 also has features designed into its bones, if you will, for the way we're using the internet now. It's an updated, brand new version. We got to go back to the drawing board and really think this thing through. It has multicasting functionalities built in. It has security functions built in. It simplifies how routers have to deal with the traffic that's built into the structure of the IP version 6 address. And now I just want to show you before we stop here, IP addresses have a vastly different format than what we're used to seeing. An IP4 address looked like this, 137.52.112.26, and you could almost remember that, at least to walk across the hall or look at a different monitor or something, okay? An IP version 6 address looks like this, vastly different, much larger. There's all kinds of stuff built into here. This is not an IP6 course, don't want to go too deep, but if you see something that looks like this, you're looking at an IP version 6 address, okay? I'm going to jump out to a command prompt window on my computer and just type ipconfig. You can do this on your machine. Just find your command prompt, hit ipconfig, and you'll notice that I have an IP version 4 address right here, 172.16.217.130. Here's my subnet mask. It's a Class C address, and here is my default gateway. But notice here's an IP version 6 address. Notice FE80, and we're leaving some stuff out here. That's why we have the 2 colons, and there it is. Notice down here we have an IP version 6 address for Teredo tunneling. There's the full address. So there's a lot of real interesting stuff going on, and so you can see these out there even on your own machine. They're already there and they're already functioning. So anyway, that's just a little bit about IP version 6. You will hear just a bit about it on the exam, but this is also great nerd reading to go out there and read up on it and see what all can happen with it. But that's about as much as you'll need to know for the A+ exam. But just don't panic if you see IP version 6 mentioned out there on the exam.